So, how do you ensure that you don't abandon your green card even if you stay outside the US for longer than a year? Get a reentry permit. When you apply for a reentry permit, you're telling the US government that you do not want to abandon your green card. A reentry permit is meant for green card holders and it secures your admission to the US even if you have stayed longer than a year outside the US. How do you get a reentry permit? To obtain a reentry permit, you're required to file Form I-131. Can you file Form I-131 if you're outside the US? No, you must be physically present in the US when you file Form I-131. Additionally, as a good rule of thumb, you should file Form I-131 at least 60 days before you intend to travel abroad. What happens if you leave the US while the decision on Form I-131 is still pending? If you've already provided your biometric information, USCIS will issue the reentry permit. However, remember that you cannot submit your biometrics outside the US. Where will USCIS mail the reentry permit if you are not in the US? You may specify on Form I-131 that you wish the reentry permit mailed to a US embassy or consulate in the city of your choice. This choice will ensure that you receive the reentry permit outside the country. However, as I've mentioned before, you must be present in the US at the time you file Form I-131. Is it possible to extend the reentry permit? No, sorry, reentry permits cannot be extended. Therefore, you must apply for a new one. When applying for a new permit, you must mail any currently valid entry permits back to the USCIS. However, if you've lost or damaged it and as a result cannot send it back, please indicate this fact on your application. How many times can I apply for the reentry permit? There's no limit on the number of times you can apply for a reentry permit. As I've mentioned earlier, the reentry permit is usually valid for 2 years. However, you'll be issued a permit valid for only a year if you spend more than 4 of the previous 5 years outside the US. What documents must you present at the airport or at a point of entry along with your reentry permit? You must show your passport, your green card, and a valid reentry permit. Remember, your absence outside the US must be less than 2 years from the reentry permit's date of issue. The reentry permit ensures that CBP officials do not consider your absence from the US as evidence of your intention to abandon your green card. Although, if the border officials believe that you plan to relocate permanently to another country, they may still consider that you abandon your green card. To avoid this possibility, you must maintain clear connections to the US.